Hey everyone, we will give about 3 minutes just to give everyone a chance to get logged in, and then we'll get started. All right, let's see. We got 3 people on here. I think that might be all we're supposed to have today, but we'll just go ahead and get started. Um, so Sarah, I know you've been on the call before, but you wanted to stay on it. So, um, Justice and Ben, y'all are both new to the call. Um, Essentially, what this call is for is to get you prepared for how the Zillow leads are going to come in. Um, Things are kind of changing with Zillow right now. So, as far as the first 30 days, you're only going to receive real time touring leads from Zillow. Those used to come in as phone calls, but they're starting to transition those into text messages. So, I haven't truly seen one of those come through yet, and I don't know what it's going to look like officially. But from what they told us, you're going to get a text message and you're going to have so long to reply to that text message. Let's say maybe 2 minutes. Once you click on that text message, you're going to have roughly another 5 or 10 minutes to decide if you want to take it or not. If you decline it, it's not going to negatively affect you, but it's just going to go to the next person on our team. And the reason why they're trying to do it this way is because before they were strictly phone calls coming in. So if your phone rings and you're in the shower or on the other line or with clients or whatever, it made it very difficult sometimes to answer the phone in a short period of time when you're busy. So by doing these text messages, it makes it a little bit easier for you to maybe snag the lead, because they're not going to be on the other line. These are specifically people that are going on to Zillow and clicking that they want to see 123 Main Street tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then it's going to send you that alert. And like I said, you can either accept it or decline it. Does anyone have any questions surrounding that and how it works?
Yeah, would that go to like the website, the Follow Up Boss is where we see it, or would it just be in like our like kind of like our iMessage?
So those leads are going to come in as a text message from Follow Up Boss or as a phone call that on your phone it'll say Zillow real time touring. So depending on if it comes in as a phone call, it'll show Zillow. If it comes in as a text message, it will be through the Follow Up Boss text system.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, typically, how it's been in the past is when it when you open it up, it's going to show you the address of the property and the time and day they want to see it. And you click either the green check mark to say that you can do it or a red X saying you cannot. Sometimes there may be multiple times in there where it may give you 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then you select the one that best fits you and then the green check. So again, I don't know exactly how these are going to come in because they're changing the system on how it's going to work. But for your first 30 days, that's the type of leads you're going to get. After 30 days, you will get turned on to the Zillow live calls, but you have to complete your Zillow mock calls within that period of time, within that 30 days. Those Zillow mock calls are in your Zillow portal, and they have an easy, medium, and hard. They will not allow you to move forward until you pass the first call. So what that means is if you start on easy, they're not going to let you do a medium or a hard call until you pass the easy call. Then you can do the medium call. Once you pass the medium call, you can then do the hard call, but you can't just do the hard one right off the rip. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So on real-time touring, the cool thing about these calls or texts is if you accept them, Zillow sends the touring request on your behalf and sets the showing up for you, as well as you can click it to send automatically the touring agreement so that the buyer gets the touring agreement and can sign it on their behalf for you as well. So you don't have to worry about doing all this extra legwork on these calls. So it makes it really convenient. What I would suggest is when you get the lead, let's say Sarah is a lead and it comes into me and I say yes and accept the lead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send Sarah a quick text message through Follow Up Boss. And it's going to be very generic, like, hey, Sarah, this is Matt Messmer with Keller Williams. I got your touring request for tomorrow at 123 Main Street for 3 p.m. And I'm working with the seller now to get that set up. Once it's confirmed, I'll let you know. And I normally put like a little emoji, like the smiling emoji with the glasses. So that way they know it's like a legitimate, not spam text. And a lot of times I'll even send a copy of the front and back of my business card with it. Because you can do that through that system. So a lot of times that's the text message that I send right off the rip. Once I get the confirmation that we are confirmed to see the property tomorrow at 3 p.m., then I'm going to physically call Sarah and try to get a verbal confirmation from her. Now, before I go into that phone call, I want you guys to realize something. And Sarah's heard this before, but I'm going to say it again. These people do not care about your time, right? To them, you are nothing but a glorified door opener. So what I mean by that is if you don't get a verbal confirmation from them, they may not show up, and now you've wasted your time driving to that property, waiting on them, and they never reply back. So to alleviate that happening, what I want you to do is get in a habit after you get it confirmed to physically call them and try to speak with them on the phone. If they do not answer, send them a text message. And the text message can be very simple. Hey, Sarah, this is Matt Messmer. Just wanted to, or just tried to call you about your appointment tomorrow at 3 p.m. We are confirmed, but I need to get a verbal confirmation from you to ensure that you're going to be there, right? Something of that nature. It doesn't matter how you word it. It's all in your verbiage. But you want to send, if they don't answer the phone, you want to send them a text message stating that you are reaching out to get a verbal confirmation from them. Is everybody up to speed so far with that? Any questions?
No, understood. Makes sense.
Okay. Now, if they do not answer the phone and they do not reply to your text message, the next thing I want you to do is send them another text message stating that, hey, Sarah, I haven't heard back from you. Just so you know, I have to get a verbal confirmation from you or I'll have to cancel the appointment. Okay, so now you're reiterating that you need a verbal confirmation from them or you're going to cancel the appointment. Now, I want you to give them a little bit of time to respond. Maybe they're at work. Maybe they're busy. I get it, right? So if your appointment is tomorrow at 3 p.m. and today's Monday at 1 and you call, they don't answer, you send them an immediate text, I'm going to give them till like 3 o'clock today, like a couple hours to respond. If they have not responded in that couple of hours, that's when I'm going to send that takeaway text. And we call that a takeaway because now you're kind of putting them on notice that, hey, my time is valuable. I've got everything set up, but I need to ensure that you're going to be there tomorrow. If not, then I'm going to go ahead and cancel the appointment. So now you're going to put them on the spot, and it kind of puts a little bit more skin in the game for them because now they have to verbally confirm with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because what we don't want you to do is drive an hour to meet someone just because you got a scheduled showing and you've never talked to them at all or heard back from them, knowing they're not going to show up. Because now you've just wasted all your time. So when we call the client, I'm going to go through just a very simple script of how that would look. Okay. Now it doesn't have to be word for word. This is not something that I want you to feel like you have to read it like a robot. I want it to sound natural for you and not scripted, because if you sound scripted, a lot of times people can see through that and they're going to feel like you might be from a call center or from a foreign country or not the person they're meeting with, and they may not be as responsive to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I don't know about y'all, but I get like 15 calls a day from these damn call centers that drive me crazy. Right? So we want to make sure they know that you're a legitimate person, that you're not AI, right? You're not some pre-recorded message. You're a real person on the other line that's going to meet with them. So it's very simple. The first thing you're going to do is introduce yourself, right? That introduction can be however you want to say it. You can say you're with Keller Williams, KW, the Fortify Group, whatever you want to say. I don't care. But make sure when you call them that they know that you're the local Zillow agent that's going to meet with them, right? So how my verbiage would be is, hey, Justice, this is Matt Messimer with Keller Williams. I am the local premier agent that's going to be meeting you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Right? Super simple. Nothing crazy, easy breezy. But you do want to sound like you have high energy and that you want to talk to them on the phone. Okay? If you call them and you're like, hey, Justice, it's Matt. How you doing? Like you don't really care and you haven't told me who you're with, they might be less likely to want to connect with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do is probe. Ask a couple of open-ended questions to find out what they're looking for, right? So, Justice, I got us all set up for tomorrow at 3 p.m. at 123 Main Street. Tell me, what drew your interest to that property? Anything specific?
Sorry, what was that? I didn't hear the question.
I said, what drew your interest to that property? Anything specific?
Yes, the backyard.
Okay. So, like the large backyard?
Yeah, the backyard and facing south.
Gotcha. Okay, so definitely looking for something with a larger yard that faces south. Now I see that this is actually a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Is that specifically the size that you're looking for?
The smallest that I'd like to go. 3-bedroom is the lower end.
Okay, so definitely want a minimum of 3 bedrooms or larger, correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about the 2 bathrooms?
Again, the same, the lower. I would like to prefer 2.5. So a dream would be 4 and 2.5 bath. So I could turn a
Okay.
bedroom into an office.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the reason I ask is because I didn't know if there were any other properties that you've seen that you might want to go look at while we're out tomorrow. But I can also send you a list of everything in that area that meets that criteria and see if maybe there's some more that you want to go look at.
Yeah, that would totally be awesome.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and work on that as well. So we're going to pause there. Does anybody have any questions surrounding that?
No.
No.
Okay. Do you see how simple that was? I mean, it was very easy. All you're doing is having a conversation, right? Now, one thing, if you notice that I did, the first thing you told me is that you like the size of the backyard and then it faces south. What did I do then?
You just confirmed that that was something that is an important thing to me.
Correct. And what does that tell you as the client when I do that?
That you're listening.
Absolutely. Ding, 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 right?
Yeah.
If you repeat back what they say to you, they know you're listening. If they know you're listening, then they know that you care and that you're truly trying to help them and not just push them on something, right?
Yeah.
So literally, and I tell this to everybody, but we're sales people, right? But we're really not salespeople at all, because all we're trying to do is find out what the person is looking for and what type of game plan that we need to come up with to help them, maybe a timeline or selling one to get to buy the next, or moving from another state, or relocating their job, or whatever that looks like, right? All we're trying to do is help them to make it a streamlined, easy process. If you can do that, the homes will sell themselves and you'll be golden. Right?
Makes sense.
But if I don't ask the right questions, I don't know what you need, right? So that's why I specifically asked about the size being a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, if that's the size of home you need. Because just because the house has a nice backyard and it faces south, if you need a minimum of 3 bedrooms and I don't ask you that, and I send you a list with 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom homes, that doesn't benefit you whatsoever, because now I've wasted your time and my time. Right? So just ask a couple questions, nothing crazy. We're not going to ask them about financing, right? We're not going to ask them at all about if they're pre-qualified unless they get into that conversation, right? We want to treat these people like a blind date. Think of them like a blind date. You're going to go spend an hour to meet with these people and try to categorize what type of buyer they are, right? Now, I know that may be a little bit backwards from what a lot of people teach, but I want you to think about something for a minute. If you have spoken to 30 or 40 people, and the first question out of those 30 to 40 people's mouth is, well, tell me, Ben, are you pre-qualified? Because I can't show you a house until I have your pre-qualification letter.
Yeah, that's not really like that.
Exactly, right? Whereas I'm different. I'm asking you what you're looking for. And I'm asking if there's anything else you've seen that you want to go look at while we're out and about. If you can change and be different than those other people that they've spoken to, you have a higher probability of meeting with them. Now, I know that you're taking on more risk because that means that they may not be qualified or may not be able to be qualified. But what I want you to look at is every single lead that comes in is an opportunity. We need opportunities today, just like we need opportunities tomorrow, right? So by getting in front of these people and starting to figure out what type of buyer they truly are, maybe they can't buy today. And that's okay. Because if they can buy in 3 months from now, you're going to need them in 3 months just as much as you need them today, right? The saying goes for, let's say they can't buy at all right now, but you still get them with the lender to discuss what options they have and get them in credit repair. Well, they're going to come back to you at some point in time. And they're also going to think about the amount of time you spent with them. And that's going to mean a lot. And what that means is they're going to refer you to other people. So they're going to refer you to friends, family members, and coworkers. That's how you grow your business, right? So even if you go meet with someone and find out that they filed bankruptcy yesterday and they're not buying a house for 3 years, but you built a good rapport with them and they understand the fact that you took time to meet with them and guided them in the right direction, that person has the opportunity to refer 3 or more people to you just from the time you spent with them. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, again, I know that's a little backwards from what you're taught, but I want you to know something. I've just started my 12th year of real estate. Okay. I've been doing this quite a while, and I'm not trying to sound cocky or brag on myself or whatever, but I can tell you that when I started out, I tried to get in front of every single person that I talked to on the phone. I didn't care if it was 9 o'clock at night, on a Sunday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday morning, didn't matter to me. I was trying to get in front of as many people as I could. In doing that and grinding for about 2 to 3 years, it allowed me to grow a book of business to the point of where I didn't need leads from the team anymore that I was on. And I was getting my own residual business that was coming back to me over and over. So my job was getting easier. I was selling more properties and working less hours and making more money. Right? So that's the mindset I want you to have, that, you know what? If they can't buy today, I don't care. Right? I'm going to try to figure out a way to get them to be able to buy in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever it is. And I'll put them in my database. And then I'm not going to forget about them, because I'm going to need that lead just as much tomorrow as I need it today. So that's the type of mentality I want y'all to have, and understand that if you want to grow a large book of business to where your phone just rings and you don't have to go door knock or send mailers or go to open houses or make all these phone calls or answer all these leads, you don't have to if you grow your business the right way. Does anybody have any questions at all surrounding any of that stuff?
No.
No, just all makes sense in my head. Just need to start applying it.
Yep. So what I want you to do is just make a mental note that, we're not going to care about if they're pre-qualified. If they tell me they're pre-qualified, hey, you know what that tells me? That they've built a good enough rapport already with me that they trust me enough to talk about their personal finances, right? Most people, if they don't know you, they don't want to divulge personal information like their finances to you because they don't know you. That's why so many agents make that horrible mistake of talking about being pre-qualified in the very first sentence. That person is going to build up a wall and not want to have anything to do with you. So that's the gist of the way the leads are going to come in. Is there any sort of questions surrounding any of the way they're coming in, how you accept them, how to work the lead, or any of that sort?
No, I think you answered that for me already. They just come in either call or text.
Correct. Now, when they come in through Follow Up Boss, you're going to want to go ahead and move them down funnel, which Sam's training will help you with that as well. But you want to make sure that you're always putting your notes in and moving them down funnel in Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss syncs to Zillow, so it'll automatically sync with Zillow as well. But if you set an appointment, go ahead and move them to set appointment. That way, our back-end staff knows that, and the ISAs won't be calling those leads and trying to steal them from you because you've put your notes in. If you don't put any notes on that person in 24 hours, our ISAs are calling those leads and redistributing them out to other team members. So you could end up losing that lead if you're not putting the proper notations in the proper time frame. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, heard on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside of that, that's all I have for this call today. Obviously, the next training will be next Monday. I will be out of town, so Caitlin will be on that training with y'all, and she's going to go through the process of when you physically meet the person for the first time and how you're going to show them the property, the conversations to have, and how that process flows. This is just the initial phone call, trying to set that appointment and get in front of them. The next week's call, we'll be talking about that process of when you do physically meet them and how that's going to go. Okay.
Okay, cool.
If in the meantime you have any questions whatsoever, or you get a call and then you don't know what to do, just call myself, Sam, or Caitlin, or Angel, and we will be able to help you.
Okay. Are you guys' number like should be in the emails that they haven't?
They should be, but I will put mine in the group chat right now.
Okay.
Where is the chat box at here? I'm trying to do it on my phone.
I think you press the 3 lines and then you just press in call messages.
There we go. I'm going to put my phone number in here. So if anybody needs me, you should have it, but feel free to call me if you need it. And then that way, we want to make sure that you feel comfortable. Okay. So don't ever hesitate to call us if you have any questions whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Outside of that, unless anybody has anything, then we're going to call it a day.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Y'all make it a great week. See ya.
You too. Have a good one.